All right, boys and girls, so now we're going to go ahead and learn about how to read music when we see it on a piece of paper. So to get started, we're going to learn the musical alphabet. That's also known as your music ABCs. Now, in the regular alphabet, you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so forth, right? All the way down to Z. But in music, it is a little bit different. So you do start out with the regular alphabet. So A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. But then instead of going on to the next letter, which is H, we just start all over again. So again, in music class, there is no such thing as an R or a Z or an M. You just keep on going over and over and over again. So after G, we have the letter A, B, and so forth. So that is your music alphabet. Now in music class, we also have a special symbol. This, that looks like the letter G, is called a treble clef. And we also have 5 lines right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called the staff. So I'm going to put this bracket here and I'm going to call it the staff. So on the 5 lines, we're going to write numbers on them. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Makes sense, right? But except that we're starting from the bottom going up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we have spaces between the lines, right? So for example, if I wanted to put this star between the lines, or a little happy face between the lines, right? That's called space. So there's how many spaces? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 spaces, right? Space goes between the lines. Now we know from earlier in the school year about quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. So for example, a quarter note looks like this. It's a head of the note, right? Makes sense, kind of looks like a head. And then we have a stem. Now sometimes notes go in either the space or in the line, like this. So this would be considered a line note. And the reason it is considered a line note is because there is a line cutting the head of the note in half. So if you see that the line is cutting the note head in half, then it's called a line note. Okay? And I'll give you another example. This note right here, it's a line note, right? A line note, because there is a line, this staff line, that is cutting it in half. So this is also a line note. Now a space note. A space note lands between the lines. It's basically any note that lands between these 4 spaces. It lands between the lines. So I'm going to give you an example. This is also considered a space note. Space note. There is no line cutting the head of the note. Therefore, it is a space note. It's not one of these where the lines are cutting between them right here. It's a space note. It lands between. So again, space notes, line notes. Now let's practice. Are these line notes or are these space notes? Is this note right here a line or a space note? I'm going to put a little blank right here If it's, we're gonna write down line or space. Okay, so go ahead and take a second and look carefully. Is this a line or is this a space note? Okay, line note would mean that there's a line going between the head of the note, and a space note would mean that there are two lines, one line going above the head of the note, right in the top, and one line going below the head of the note. So the correct answer is this is a line note. So this is line. And the reason is that there's a line cutting through this note. So it's considered a line note. Another example. Is this a line or is this a space note? Okay. So go ahead and take a second. Look to see if there's a line cutting between the head of the note, like in the line notes, or are the lines going on top and below the head of the note? The correct answer is, it is a space note. Yay! So those of you that got space note, good job. It is not, the lines, the staff lines are not going between the head of the note. So we cannot call this a line note. The lines are actually going on top and below the head of the note. So this is very important that you know if notes are either line or space notes for our next part.